Howdy, I'm Robbie Bland, and this is my new show where I will be talking about comic books. What I'm hoping is that by doing this show and by creating another avenue to talk about comics, hopefully I can spread the good word, get more people reading comics, get people reading comics they don't normally read, trying new things, and I think to just kind of get the wheels spinning on this channel, I want to do, for the time being, a weekly show, very low key, very simple, low maintenance. That way I'm not taking too much time away from my regular efforts at stop motion, but instead just taking a little bit of time every week to talk about some of the stuff I've been reading.
He's Robbie Bland.
Yeah, the Crocs, the Venom pants, the Hulk smash shirt. Robbie.
Oh boy. Up next, Bloodshot Unleashed, issue number 3, from Mauro Mantella and Rodrigo Rocha, with Ezequiel Fernandez-Roel. I love Bloodshot. One of my favorite comic book characters, period. One of my favorite comics ever, period. The run from Jeff Lemire was phenomenal. Bloodshot Reborn and Salvation and USA and all the good stuff that came out of Bloodshot. I mentioned I enjoyed Tim Seeley's run on the character earlier. I love Bloodshot. He was kind of my introduction to the wider world of comics outside of Marvel and DC. I discovered him a few years ago, kind of when Valiant was doing some really crazy stuff, putting out a bunch of comics, and Bloodshot was one of their premier titles. Reborn was really good. Since then, the title has kind of fluctuated in terms of quality and in terms of my own enjoyment of it. Then they announced Unleashed was coming out, and I was like, okay, this looks good. It looks good. The premise was kind of a premise that's been winning in a lot of comics lately, especially with what I read, where you take your hero and you put him in these kind of small town situations with supernatural or kind of just unknown problem for the hero to solve. It's worked really well with the Fantastic Four ongoing at the moment, the Ghost Rider ongoing, and now the Bloodshot one, where it was Ray is sent out to these missions with these defective, rejected, escapee experiments that are all kind of weapons. They've been turned into weapons like he has, and he has to stop them before they can do any more damage. Sometimes things don't always go as planned, and he has to make difficult decisions because these weapons are kind of victims of illegal, awful government experimentation. And so Bloodshot Unleashed went for 4 issues, ended. I was really sad. And then they said, hey, we're going to come back. We have Bloodshot Unleashed Reloaded, which is going to be another 4-issue series. This is issue 3. In it, something really fun happened. Bloodshot kind of fights a character who you could argue is kind of Hulk-like, and that he's this big, powerful monster. In the beginning of the issue, they're talking about how he's jumping around, and he's jumping miles at a time. I was getting excited. Hulk is my favorite character. I love Hulk. Always loved Hulk. And so getting to kind of see Bloodshot fight sort of an analog version of the Hulk, a technological based one where he's bulletproof and super, super strong. I was having a good time. The art is really good. The writing improved between issues, which I love to see. We even had this really cool moment here where Bloodshot sort of does his own little chainsaw man. He starts swinging some chainsaws around, and that was really cool. That was really cool to see that. They gave Bloodshot this kind of access to a new power he's never had before, where he now has access to this kind of alternate sub-dimension where he has infinite weapons and infinite ammo, and that's exciting to see. It might be a little bit much. We'll see if he keeps that power or not. But I really, really enjoyed that. I have to take a break. And I am back to gush some more about Bloodshot. This is, again, one of my favorite comic books on shelves. I love Bloodshot. Something that's been missing from the books for a while has been his supporting cast, the family that was established during the Bloodshot, Reborn, and Salvation arcs. And my favorite thing about this new Bloodshot run has been that they brought back his family. It's really nice seeing him and his wife, or I don't know if they ever got married, maybe it happened off panel, but his girlfriend Magic, their daughter Jessie, and Bloodhound. I really love the characters. I'm happy that they're all kind of coming back together. I think Bloodshot's in a really unique place right now, and I'm very happy to see it. You gotta love it when the gang's all together. And so, big fan of Bloodshot. I highly recommend it to anyone who's ever interested in reading comics outside of the big two. And with that said, this has been Robbie Bland talking about comics. If you want to see what else I do stop motion animation on my main channel, Bland Clan Videos. I have a new video coming out later this month. We'll have Beta Ray Bill fighting Starfire, Marvel vs. DC, orange people fighting each other. It's going to be pretty fun. It'll be a shorter one, but I managed to pack it full of action. And I also do a movie review talk show with my friend Israel. We do Trying to Talk About, wherein we watch a movie and try to talk about it and end up going on some rather interesting tangents, comparing those movies to other movies or just talking about movies that aren't even related to the topic at hand. It's a fun time, I think, despite our silly tangents and off-topic nature. The show is a lot of fun, and there's a lot of interesting conversation happening. Beyond that, I am a Star Bandit. I run a nonprofit here in Texas focused on giving money and opportunities to other artists like ourselves. We are currently pushing a campaign to sell some donuts to raise some money for our efforts to put on a stage play festival at the end of the year. We did one last year. We want to do another one this year. It's going to be big. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I'll be writing a show for it, hopefully getting to direct again. Special shout out as well to my best friend Caleb King, who is currently trying to kickstart his own comic, which I hope to someday talk about on this channel. Swallowed Still, the Kickstarter link will be in the description, and here's some nice little visual stills. It is good. It's emotional. It's a very human-driven story about one person's attempt at fatherhood, being blinded by what you could call toxic masculinity or a forced perspective on what masculinity is supposed to look like that ultimately lets down not just himself, but the next generation, and how he attempts to recover from that. It's a very good story. I have watched this comic grow from a script that he wrote that I helped review into a very beautiful comic with some amazing art, and I am super excited to be able to hold it in my hand someday. So be sure to check out some of the other stuff I'm doing, some of the other stuff my friends are doing, and I will see you next week. Adios.
He's Robbie Bland. He's Robbie Bland. Mr. All That in the Sheet, Captain America on the street. He's Robbie Bland. Welcome to the Robbie Bland Show. Welcome to the Robbie Bland Show.